Hello. Today I'm gonna be doing a 10-minute psychology video. I wasn't supposed to show them yet. So, I'm gonna make a psychology 10-minute video. And I'm gonna be using these flashcards from this shoebox that I've been collecting over the years. I'm just going to choose random ones, and if I remember, I'm going to explain. So, I'm going to choose the first one. How about this pile? And let's choose this one. This one has a couple of them. Okay. So the first term on here is sensory register. I don't remember what that means. Refers to first and most immediate form of memory you have. Takes in sensory info. Short term. Okay, the next one is attention. Concentration and focusing on mental effort and memory. Oh wait, no. Memory. Retention of memory over time, central to information processing. So then there's a short-term working memory and long-term. Short-term, remember something for a while, which you need to buy at store. Working memory, remember how to solve problems, make decisions, understand language. Long-term, relatively permanent. Metacognition, thinking about thinking. Cognition about cognition, knowing about knowing. Planning, evaluation, self-regulation. Okay. So, there's not much to explain. Sensory register, basically touching something and then your mind processing the touch. Okay, this is bothering me. Wait. Okay, I think that's better. Just things that you won't remember. Like, I am touching this pen. I won't remember that because it's not important. Number 2, attention. Just focusing on one thing. Zoning in on one thing and blurring out the rest. Memory. The short term. Things that you'll just remember for that one moment, time period. So like grocery lists, memorizing a phone number. I don't think people do that anymore, but it falls under that category. Working memory. So working, I don't know how to explain that. I would have to read about it because I forgot. But what I think it is, it's when you start remembering things and you're working on your memory, trying to remember what you need to know. And then long term are things that happen that you remember. Your brain absorbs it. Another thing about that is you'd think that the hippocampus, I don't know what I'm saying. Okay, so the hippocampus. Okay, so the hippocampus is a place where memories are stored. But the reality is that memories are stored throughout the brain. Okay, next I'm going to choose another flashcard. This is going to be longer than like 10 minutes, I feel. This one. again, stapled. I think I might skip this one. This is way too much. I'll put this one off for now. Let's do this one. Key elements of effective training program. If I can remember what that was for. Effective training for what? Middle school, instructed in ways to improve self-control. Stress management, social problem solving, students practice. Stop, calm down, think before you act, go over problem and state how you feel. Set a positive goal, think of many solutions, plan ahead for consequences. Go ahead and try best plan. Better social skills, effective interactions, hold peer attention by asking questions, listening in a warm, friendly way, saying things to relate to peers' interests, helps rejected children, helps aggression, impulsivity. I think this was for effective training program for boys. Key elements of effective training program for middle school aged boys. Because they do tend to have a lot of energy and testosterone levels and their hormones. So this is supposed, so there's like programs that help with that. Not here. I think it was like somewhere in New York. But it would be pretty good if they'd had them everywhere. And this was just like a boys' school, I think. But yes, they'll teach them how to manage stress and problem solve by talking problems out instead of aggressively reacting to a situation. So they learn how to calm down before they start talking about the problem. Then they teach them how to compromise or how to understand each other's feelings, each other's points of views. Then they think of solutions and they learn how to plan for when it happens again. Instead of reacting in this way, you can react in this way. And then you just have to try to remember to do that when in that situation. Well, they have to. Well, we all do, but this is for the training program. So it does result in better social skills, because you have to learn how to talk, and effective interactions. So so it helps them see from the other person's point of view, and it allows them to ask questions and listen, learn how to have empathy for the other person, and maybe they'll find interest, or they'll find things that they can relate to and eventually become friends instead of enemies. And it does help rejected children too, because you're giving them the tools they need to know how to interact with another person. Now, this is really good because nobody teaches you social skills. You're just kind of put out there to do your own thing and to learn it out yourself. I know that there are coaches for that to help like children become a little bit more social, or learn how to interact with their peers, with their friends. Well, learn how to make friends. And helps aggression and impulsivity, and I've already explained how. Capiche? So next one more. From this, I am choosing this, and again it's a stapled one. How about let's skip this. Okay, I'm looking, so I can't look. How about this one? Oh no, that's way too many. Look at that thickness. Okay. There's just too many to choose from. This one's stapled. Basic emotions. What is this? Happiness, anger and sadness, fear. Hey, how about it? Okay, basic emotions. Happiness, interest, surprise, anger, sadness, disgust are universal in humans and other primates and have a long evolutionary history of promoting survival. True fact. That's how babies get their basic needs. First expressed in blissful smiles and later through exuberant laughter. Laughter occurs in 3 to 4 month olds. Anger and sadness. Generalized distress. Fear, like anger, rises during second half of first year. Stranger anxiety, fearful of strangers. Secure base, familiar carrier point from which to explore, venturing into environment and then returning for emotional support. Okay, so this is important. I'm going to talk about this one, fear. So a lot of people say not to give your children too much love or too much attention because then they'll grow up expecting that all the time. But there's been research done that shows that a kid who gets love will do better when they grow up. Because they know there will be people out there to help them. Even if it's not their parents, but they know that there will be people willing to help. So for those people that say, no, they need to learn how to be on their own, how to be without me, and things like that. It doesn't necessarily help them because then they start thinking that that's the way it's always going to be. Whereas opposed to, I'm here for when my child needs me. I can let him know that whenever he needs help, I'll be here. So that's developing a secure base, which is this, secure base. To which the child can go to when they need help. If the child doesn't have that, then it's rocky for the child, for the kid. And I believe that. I will believe that because when you don't have someone to go to, then you're just all over the place. And letting your child know that you're there for them, it kind of grounds the child. That secure parent or that secure adult kind of grounds the child when the child is in distress or is afraid or whatever, anxious. And yeah, that's all I gotta say. Holy dang, that's more than 10 minutes. But it's been 4 minutes of randomness. I wasn't done yet though. When you... I forgot what I was gonna say. Something about predictable. When you give your child the secure base, like I'm here for when you need me, The child will be able to explore their environment, not be afraid of being in their environment. They'll go, they'll explore, they'll kind of like let go on their own. As opposed to someone who doesn't, because they don't have that predictable base. They don't know what's going to happen next. They don't know if they'll have that secure person or not. It's unpredictable. Does that make sense? Yes. So there you have it. Psychology 10-minute. 10-minute psychology.